Okay, something new. A Crosman 2240 air pistol, CO2 powered. It takes these little gas bulbs that actually slide in to the lower here, and from one bulb you get anywhere between 30 to 40 shots depending on your gun and depending on what accessories you have on it. I bought this, and I bought the kit that came with the suppressor. This is an ATEC wave suppressor, and what you do is you take off the front side and put the adapter on there and then screw this on. Now this is the suppressor specifically for 22 caliber air guns. Without the suppressor, this thing was dead accurate. I was getting like 1-inch groupings at 10 meters. With the suppressor, the shots were all over the place. I could get foot size groupings. It was just random where the pellet landed. Turned out the fit between the barrel and the adapter was completely wrong. There was at least half a millimeter gap, and it caused this to move. It's got a grub screw here and here, and as a result this was moving and the pellet was impacting or touching the internals as it was passing through the suppressor. So to rectify this, I actually had to add a shim filler, and what I used was a painter's tape, blue painter's tape, just one neat sort of wrap around the barrel, slid the adapter back on and fastened it, and it's now rock solid. It doesn't move, and with the suppressor on, the accuracy is not affected. So just be aware of that, people. If you do buy adapters, slide over barrel adapters, make sure that they're the correctly fitted ones. The shame of it all is the fact that this adapter and suppressor is sold with the 2240 from a local gun shop as a set kit, and how they get away with it, I don't know. I'm not going to name the gun shop, but yeah, it's here in London, and they even advertised in gun magazines. So this is the stock barrel for the Crosman 2240, and these are sold together as a kit for a few extra quid, for a few extra pounds, and yet it's not a perfect fit, so it causes issues. I've rectified it, but I was just wondering how many people in the past have had this issue and just thrown the suppressor away or sold it or just given up. Anyway, I got the problem fixed. Then I purchased some upgrade parts, some brass parts, a bolt and bolt handle, and also a power adapter which you can put on the end here, which adjusts the amount of gas that it feeds in. I don't use that because I've got something else attached. The brass gas cylinder knob is quite nice and it's got a good grip on it. The brass barrel tube cover and gas cylinder cover is quite nice as well. It originally came with a plastic one which I've since removed. The breech, this one is the long, it goes from here all the way to here. It's a steel breech which is really good quality. It replaced the original plastic breech, which I'll show you is tiny in comparison. Where are you? go in there. So that shows you it's almost twice the length. So plastic breech, barrel fits in like that, just like this does, and you action it to shoot. Comes with a rear sight, which is in here, and it does the job. It's okay, but it's nowhere near the quality of a steel breech. So I paid and got the steel breech, made such a big difference. The barrel sits in at the same distance, still mounts here, so the barrel length hasn't changed. One of the things that I also did was I got, like I said, I've got the brass parts like the bolt handle and everything. The reason this is not on there is because basically it was sticking. No matter what I did, the bolt was sticking. So I cleaned it, it was still sticking. I lubed it, it was sticking, and I couldn't figure out why this bolt didn't want to work in there. Then I found out why. It's not actually the bolt, it's the bolt handle. Down in here, where it slides along, it was actually grinding against the metal of the steel breech. And as a result, being brass, it's softer. It was literally grinding away at the metal. Come on. And eating into it and creating a groove where it was rubbing up against that, and that is what was causing the friction. So I tried to modify it by making it a little bit thinner so that there's less contact, and it made no real difference. It was still jamming, and eventually it just ate its way through, and as you see here, it actually cut the brass in half, exposing the threaded screw underneath. So I just took that out and replaced it with the original bolt and the original bolt handle. I'll put those aside. Right. The next mod that I did, well, it's not next, but it's another mod that I did, was the trigger on the original was quite stiff. So what I did was purchased a trigger adjuster, 3D printed, readily available online. And you literally just take out the spring and replace it with this. So it has a block that's mounted on the handle, has a spring in there, and then a little bracket which sits up into the trigger, into the sear, and then you have this adjusting piece here. You can dial it in, make it harder, dial it down to make it softer, and that made such a difference. I basically have a really smooth trigger now. Come on. One of the things I've got arriving from Germany shortly, should be arriving this week, is custom made wooden grips. So looking forward to that. So steel breech, trigger adjuster, a couple of brass pieces. I shimmed the the mount for the suppressor, and I removed the gas power adjuster from back here because, well, I wasn't going to use it much anyway, and it was not required for my next stage. After that, I then got some scope rings and attached my Crossfire scope and got that zeroed in. And then shortly after getting these, the rear adapter, basically where a buffer tube would be on an AR, you can get an adapter that fits into the gas cylinder, the main housing gas cylinder, and that's it here. You literally unscrew the cap, pop that in, put the screw back in, and then you can attach that to a stock. So now I've got a folding stock, well, not folding, sliding stock. So I made it into basically a carbine. So as you see, there's a buffer tube. So this attaches to here. Then you have this ring which tightens it all together. So it's nice and small and compact for transport. Got the Crossfire scope, which is turned on. I've got a red dot on there, it's been turned on. I was at the gun club yesterday. I just realised that's been on for 20 hours. Yep, still works fine. So that's it at the moment. So when the stock is fully extended and the suppressor is mounted, it's quite large but still small, so it's basically a carbine. So what I purchased the other night was the 2250 XL, which is basically the same pistol but with a rifle barrel along, I think it's 17-inch rifle barrel, and it comes with a stock already attached. But what I plan on doing is removing that stock because it comes down off the grips. It comes down along the bottom and out this way, and I want to attach this style of stock. But that's the next project I've got coming up. So I have some footage of this shooting at 25 meters at the gun club. That footage is on my phone, so if I can transfer this onto the computer, I will attach it to this video. But on the 10 meter range, I'm getting less than 1 inch groupings on this. At the 25 meter range, I'm getting, I think it's 8 inch groupings. And that's from a 7-inch barrel. So it's pretty good. Anyway, I'll log into my phone and I'll see if I can find that footage for you, and if I do, you'll see that next. But for now, this is my Crosman 2240 scoped carbine with sliding stock. Crosman 2240, 22 caliber 7-inch barrel with a shoulder stock, so there's a carbine. One target, 25 meters. Turn shots. Let's have a look. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not too bad for 25 meters from nothing but a small 7-inch barrel with a Grav magazine and a Vortex crossfire scope.